On episode 444 of Nintendo Switchcraft, I found some SNES games. Overwatch 2 has a trailer on the Nintendo Switch. Demon Ex Machina gets an odd edition. Those stories and more on this episode of Nintendo Switchcraft.
Hello, it's me, Mario, and you're listening to my favorite Nintendo Switch podcaster, Bill, on Nintendo Switchcraft. Bill, you're number one. Yahoo!
Hey everyone, welcome back to Nintendo Switchcraft, your source for all the Nintendo news that you are looking for. Look no further, this is where you go. It is brought to you live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You can tune in live over at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp. This particular episode of Nintendo Switchcraft is brought to you by patrons like Trucker Paul. Get Switchcraft and my other content for as little as $1 completely ad-free by joining the Patreon over at patreon.com/runjumpstomp. And if you want to leave a voicemail like you heard at the top of the show, like Mario did, you can call in from any device going to runjumpstomp.com/voicemail, and I may even play it on the show. We have got a lot to cover today, so let's jump right into the show notes and see what we got. First off, we've got December game updates. We've got, it's funny, very recently, I'm not sure, I think it might have been this week, in fact, I kind of complained that we hadn't gotten any Super Nintendo games in a while, and Nintendo, like the next day, posted this video showing us some Super Nintendo games that we're now going to be able to play, and I gotta say, that's awesome. Now, I'm not excited about all of these games. Let's talk about what games we got. Star Fox 2. I think that's cool. I'm interested in playing it. I do have it on the Super Nintendo Classic, but I never actually spent any time with it. I am looking forward to trying it out on my Switch. I have not downloaded these and tried them out yet because I've been pretty busy. We also got Super Punch-Out, the sequel to the original Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, or what eventually just became Punch-Out because, Mike Tyson bit off a dude's ear. I'm not very excited about that game because I've never been a fan of Super Punch-Out. The original Punch-Out I love, but Super Punch-Out I've never been a fan of. Another game that I've never been a fan of is Kirby Superstar. I've never really been a fan of any Kirby game, really. That being said, it's a very popular game, so it makes sense for it to come to the Nintendo Switch. And then we've got Breath of Fire 2, an old school RPG, turn-based RPG. It looks great. I've never played it. I never played Breath of Fire 1. That's already on the Nintendo Switch. Along with that, we also got NES games. So if you forgot, NES games, those are on there too. Journey to Silius. I don't know how to say it. It looks like a side-scrolling, almost like Mega Man style game, but I never played it, so I don't know anything about it. Then we got Crystallis, which a lot of people say is their favorite. All the snow just slid off my roof. I'm sorry for the pause there, but it startled me. A lot of people say that Crystallis is their favorite NES game of all time. And you know what? If that's your jam, then go for it. I've never played Crystallis, even though I got it. I have to be honest. I think it was through the SNK pack. The SNK pack, which came to Nintendo Switch, I got it as a review copy, and I tried a bunch of the games, but I didn't end up trying Crystallis for very long. It seemed cool, but I know a lot of people are very, very excited for it. But here's what I want to know. I want to know what you all think about this list of games on the Nintendo Switch. So just to go through these again, we got Journey of Silius, I don't know how to say it, Crystallis, Super Punch-Out, Star Fox 2, Kirby Superstar, and Breath of Fire 2. Of those, which are you most excited for? I I think it's too bad that we still don't have, those staples like Super Mario RPG and stuff like that. I'm sure that stuff is coming maybe 3 more months down the road. Only time will tell. But anyway, I think that it's important that they keep bringing us these games. I also don't think that I mean, sure, we're only spending $20 a year on this if you're doing the non-family plan. So you can't really expect too much, but I would gladly pay for more. I would gladly pay more to get more stuff. And when I say more stuff, what I really mean is have the online service to be more on par with the other platforms, especially like, okay, here's the thing. Pokemon. We were kind of having this discussion in the Discord. Pokemon's online multiplayer is kind of a pain. And I have not personally used it myself because I don't have the games yet. I'm kind of waiting for Christmas. But it's kind of a pain from what I understand. Like, it's hard to match up with the other people that you want to match up with. And one of the things that I thought would be cool, and we were talking about this in the Discord, runjumpstomp.com/Discord, is wouldn't it be neat if you could do trades asynchronously with your friends? So I could like message a friend and be like, "Oh, hey man, I got a Snorlax. Do you have, I don't know, a Pidgey?" Just because I can't think of anything else. And they say, "Yeah, oh sure, yeah, I got that. Okay, cool, let's trade." I grab my Switch, I send the trade. When he picks up his Switch, he gets the trade and he can send me the other thing. That would be awesome. That would be really awesome. I wish that they would do stuff like that. But instead, when you have to trade with people, first off, they both have to be online at the same time. It was hilarious because we've got an LFG channel in the Discord, which people are using to, maybe play Mario Kart together or play Pokemon together or try and play on some other platform, some other game together. And people were like, "Oh, hey, I want to trade for this." And then 3 hours later, somebody's like, "Oh, sorry, I was out to dinner or something, and I didn't see it. Are you still around?" And that person isn't there anymore because they went to go do other things, and then they come back. They're like, "Oh, sorry, I was asleep. Can we try again tomorrow?" So it's like this back and forth over and over that it just makes it too hard. And Nintendo Switch should be better at that. This should be something that could be done through the Nintendo Switch online app. This online app that Nintendo they made and then they just ignore. I should be able to do Pokemon trades through this. I don't understand why not. It would just be amazing. Maybe that'll happen when Pokemon Home, I think it's called Pokemon Home. I know it used to be called Pokemon Bank, but I think it's called Pokemon Home now. I think that would be something that would be really awesome if they kind of integrated that. Maybe it'll happen down the road. Who knows? Anyway, I don't know how I got from Super Nintendo to Pokemon. I know it was somewhere along the lines of the Nintendo Switch Online still just not being up to snuff. That being said, let's move on. I want to talk about a game that I'm excited for, although I don't know that I'm going to play this on the Switch. And the reason I'm not going to probably play this on the Switch is because it doesn't really offer me any benefit, and that game is Overwatch 2. Now, Overwatch 2 I'm very, very excited for. I was a huge fan of the first Overwatch. I think it's a wonderful game. It's my favorite multiplayer shooter, but I don't plan on, I didn't pick it up for the Switch, and I don't plan on picking it up for the Switch, and I don't plan on picking up Overwatch 2 for the Switch because of the one simple reason: the thing that the Switch has going for it that makes it really different from the other consoles is the fact that you can take it with you. But playing a first-person shooter with the Joy-Cons just doesn't work. Now, I know that there's people out there who swear by the Satisfy grip, which is this weird plastic thing that you kind of hook your Switch into, and then it allows you to have a more comfortable grip when you're in portable mode. I'm not really interested in having another plastic thing to snap onto the Switch because that just adds more things to it. That being said, if like if I was going to play this, I would probably just play it docked all the time using the Pro controller or my SN30 Pro Plus from 8BitDo. Like that would be the way that I would play. And if I'm already going to be playing docked all the time, always on a TV, then if that's what I'm going to do, then I may as well play on the PS4 or on my PC, or, you know, fingers crossed that it comes to Stadia, because then I would have that same advantage of being able to play on multiple screens. Overall, I think that it's cool that I think that Overwatch 2 coming to Nintendo Switch is very, very important. I love that Blizzard is supporting the Switch in this way. I'm excited for the game, but playing it on Switch just doesn't make any sense for me. That being said, if you don't have other platforms to play this on, and you have Overwatch 1, then you already know that Overwatch 2 is going to be fantastic. If you have never played Overwatch, I'm telling you, you're going to have a ton of fun when you play Overwatch or Overwatch 2. Now, one thing that I do want to say is honestly, the only stuff that you don't already have, let's say that you already own Overwatch, and I don't know if I talked about it as this on the show or if I talked about it on one of my other shows, but if you already own Overwatch and you're thinking, am I going to get Overwatch 2? Here's what you get. Here's what you already will get. When Overwatch 2 comes out, you will already get the new PvP mode. You will already get the new heroes. You will already get everything except for the single player stuff. The single player stuff is going to be locked to Overwatch 2. And I love what Jeff Kaplan and his team are doing with Overwatch, where they're making a sequel, but they're not splitting the player base. That is so very important to the health of the game, and I hope that they continue to do this. I hope other developers see this and they realize, man, imagine how easy and fast it's going to be to get a match on Overwatch, because all of the Overwatch 1 players and all of the Overwatch 2 players are all in the same pool. Now, I don't know if that means that we're going to get crossplay, because really Blizzard has not been doing any crossplay stuff between platforms. Like Diablo 3 on Switch is separated from Diablo 3 on PlayStation, which is separated from Diablo 3 on PC. Overwatch has been basically the same thing. They're all separated. And Blizzard doesn't seem to be interested in making sure that we can all play together. But all of the Overwatch 1 players and all of the Overwatch 2 players are going to be able to play together on Nintendo Switch and the other platforms in their own little silos. And I think that that's awesome. Now, what would be even better is if they started mixing together. The one disadvantage to that, the one thing that I think that people have to remember, and I could be wrong about this, because, hey, people are going to say, Bill, do some research before you record your show. I didn't realize I was going to talk about this. I kind of have a meandering thought process when I start talking about stuff, and that's why I think a lot of people listen, because it's a stream of consciousness. But anyway, I don't know off the top of my head if Overwatch 1 on Nintendo Switch is 60 frames per second. I can't remember if it is or not. And that's important if I am doing crossplay with somebody on, let's say, an Xbox One, and they have 60 frames per second and I have 30 frames per second, I'm at a disadvantage. Now, maybe somebody in chat, because I record the show live on twitch.tv/runjumpstomp, maybe somebody in chat knows the answer. I just can't remember it. But I think it is 30 frames per second. I'm 99% sure that it's 30 frames per second. And so you would be at a disadvantage because everybody gets to see things before you do. It's a slight disadvantage, but it's a disadvantage nonetheless. Darren Pogue in chat is saying, is anything on Switch 60 frames per second? Actually, Darren, a lot of games on Switch are 60 frames per second. Nintendo is very, very good at taking their games and making them run fantastic and look awesome. However, when you're porting things to new platforms or to different platforms, it often takes a hit in the frames per second, because it wasn't originally designed to run on this hardware, so they've got to do tricks in order to get that to happen. All right. Let's move on. I want to talk about a game called Super Epic, but first I want to thank the sponsors. So we're going to hear from the sponsors real quick, and then when I come back, we're going to hear about a game called Super Epic. Stick around. All right, we're back. Super Epic is a game that I got a review code for, and I put a first look video on my YouTube channel yesterday, which you can, if you're listening to the show, like an audio version, or if you are watching the show live with us, you can find my YouTube channel over at youtube.com, excuse me, /runjumpstomp. And Super Epic is very, very funny. It's this game that, oh, you know what? Before we go, I got an update. Vaxer in chat. Thank you, Vaxer. He says Overwatch on Nintendo Switch will run at 30 frames per second and up to 900p. This is info from September. So thank you very much. Anyway, as I was saying, Super Epic is a very funny game. It takes place in the future, and it's very meta in its humor, but it takes place in the future, and the way that the game works is the whole world plays free-to-play games. And not only do we play free-to-play games, but we're forced to play free-to-play games. And the motto of the world is work, play, and sleep. That's the motto of the world. Work, play, sleep. So you work so that you can play, and then you go to sleep afterwards, and you wake up the next day, and you do it all again, so that you can, buy lots of microtransactions and keep those corporations rich. Well, you are this character who has joined the resistance, who doesn't like these free-to-play games, and you want more traditional style games. I know this is a ridiculous thing, but it's awesome. And you are like a fox that rides around on the back of a llama, and you've got a couple of different weapons. You've got, and it looks like from the screenshots that I've seen, and I haven't played too much, but it looks like from the screenshots that I've seen, you can get different weapons, and some of them attack horizontally, and some of them attack vertically. And it's kind of a Metroidvania style game. Now, one of the things that really cracked me up was I went into this level, and it's a side-scrolling Metroidvania style game with a cool pixel art style that you guys, if you watch my content, you know that I love it. It's got a cool pixel art style, and I went into this room, and on the wall there was a key or a doorway that I couldn't get through, and I needed a key or a passcode. And on the wall there was a QR code, and I picked up my phone and pointed it at the QR code, and sure enough, it brought up a game on my phone. It was in a browser, and it looked like Flappy Bird, except they had replaced the bird with a pig. I think it was called Flippy Pig or something like that. And you had to play and get a high score of 5 in order to get the code to unlock the door to go through and see what was in the chest. Now, during the first look, I didn't want to spend time doing that, so I played a couple, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back to the game and see what other things are in the game. But then later on, I had opened up my phone, and the game was still there, and I was like, oh, let me try it out. And sure enough, after I got a score of 5, it gave me the code. I haven't had a chance to go back and see what was in that chest, but I wouldn't tell you anyway because I wouldn't want to spoil it. It's very clever. This is a very, very clever and funny game, and if my description hasn't sold you on it, I want you to just go watch the video and see what you think. I think that they've stumbled onto something pretty damn hilarious, and it's actually fun to boot as well. All right, Geralt or Geralt, I don't know. I don't play The Witcher, so I don't know how you're supposed to say his name, but Geralt of Rivia and Child of Destiny, Ciri, which are two of the main characters in the Witcher series, they are coming to Demon Ex Machina, which is a really weird combination. These are characters from a high fantasy, hyper-violent game, and they're coming to Deus Ex Machina. It's really weird. This comes to us from a tweet from Nintendo, And it says here, Geralt of Rivia and the Child of Destiny Ciri are taking on the Immortals. Download the free DLC pack for Demon X Machina on Nintendo Switch and lead these heroes into heavy metal mayhem. If you're somebody who got Demon X Machina, are you excited for this? There's my first question. My second question is, if you're like me and you passed on Demon X Machina, but you were still slightly interested in what it might turn out to be, and you said, well, maybe I'll check it out down the road, does this convince you to pick up this game? I mean, for me, it doesn't. I'm not a huge Geralt fan. I'm not I don't care about The Witcher, not because I don't like the game, but because I haven't really played the game and I don't know much about it. But I don't know that this is something that is going to incentivize people to go out and pick up Demon X Machina. It's kind of a weird, like, they don't belong together in my opinion. That being said, I have not played either game. I just know that the two genres they couldn't be further away from each other. So I find it really a really odd pairing, and I am curious as to what you guys think about this. Darren Pogue reminds us that there's a Netflix series starting soon with Henry. I don't know his first name. Cavill, the guy that played Superman, plays Geralt. Anyway, let's talk about sales. All right, this is pretty surprising. This actually really kind of floored me when I saw it. Black Friday sold a lot of Switches. I want you to just think for a second, how many Switch, that's the plural of Switches, I think, and then I just said Switches. How many Nintendo Switch consoles, there you go, then you can say it the right way, do you think that the US sold on Black Friday? All right, that's my question to you. You can pause the show and think about it for a second and then come back, and now you'll know if you were right or not. Hopefully you're right. That number, 800,000 units sold in 1 week. That is insane. First off, okay, why did they sell so many? Well, it was Black Friday. They had the Nintendo Switch Lite on sale for, I think it was $25 off, which doesn't sound like very much, but when you're talking about something that's $200 and now it's down to $175, that's pretty good. That's a big-ish discount, especially for something that doesn't go on sale very often. They had a bunch of bundles for the Nintendo Switch OG version, which the OG version has like that. Not the battery life on that isn't as good as the one that I have, but it's the one that launched, and it worked pretty awesome for what's the word, for more than 2 years. So there's a lot of those sold, but 800,000. So we had deep discounts. We also had Pokemon just came out. So a lot of Pokemon, probably, like, I bet you a lot of people went in and they bought Nintendo Switch or a Nintendo Switch Lite and Pokemon Sword or Pokemon Shield, and that's going to be under the tree at some point. The Switch is just killing it. This comes to us from The Verge. More than 800,000 units sold in 1 week, altogether in only the U.S. Okay, in only the U.S., the Nintendo Switch has sold 17.5 million units. That's just in the U.S., okay? And then this is pretty crazy. Let's compare that to the Wii U. The Wii U, in its entire lifetime, in the entire world, sold 14.3, I think it was, might have been 0.9, 14 point something million units worldwide in its entire lifetime. And in less than 3 years, Nintendo Switch sold 17.5 million units only in the US. And if you are talking about globally, it's over 41 million units, which is just crazy. That's just absolutely crazy. 41 million units in less than 3 years. Nintendo is, I mean, remember all those memes of it would show Mr. Iwata and Reggie Fils-Aimé, and they would have the Wii, and money would be shooting out of the CD slot for the Wii, and it would say like it prints money. It's that all over again, except we can replace it with Mr. Furukawa and Doug Bowser at this point. I think it's just absolutely crazy that they're selling that many, and 800,000 in 1 week is, as you guys know that I say, bananas. All right, Nintendo also is giving away, they've got a holiday sweepstakes right now, and it says enter the My Nintendo Holiday Sweepstakes for a chance to take home some amazing prizes. Each day from December 5th to 14th, so we're already a day behind now, My Nintendo members can enter for a chance to win a daily prize pack. Plus, you'll also be entered in the grand prize drawing. If you want to check this out, go to happyholidays.nintendo.com/sweepstakes, or just go to runjumpstomp.com. Check out episode 444 of Nintendo Switchcraft, and the show notes will be right there, and they will take you to the tweet, which takes you to where you're looking for. So yesterday, you could have won a Pokemon Prize-a-Palooza, which came with a double pack of Sword and Shield, looked like some stuffed animals, and a Christmas ornament that are all Pokemon themed. It looks like the stuffed animals are the starters from Sword and Shield. Today, it looks like you get a download code for Super Mario Maker 2, as well as a men's holiday sweater, which is kind of cool. And then day 3, we don't know what we're getting the rest of the days, but hey, it's a holiday sweepstakes, and you can't win if you don't enter. And if somebody out there, I'm sure that there's somebody out there who's saying, nobody ever wins these things. My wife wins these things. My wife won us a trip to Great Wolf Lodge, which was this, it's this indoor water park, and they have them all over the world. All over the U.S. I don't know why I said world. And we could go to any one that we wanted, and it paid for our flight, paid for our hotel. It was a free trip. She won that through, I think, like Coke points or something, and this was years ago. So it was a fantastic vacation, and we never could have afforded to take that vacation. So people do win this stuff. So it behooves you to enter now. Go to the show notes, runjumpstomp.com. Follow the link in the show notes, and you too can win your Nintendo, My Nintendo Holiday Sweepstakes. Hey, if you don't bother, you obviously won't win. All right, last thing before we get out of here, these controllers right here. If you are listening to the show, imagine that I'm holding up a Nintendo Switch version of the NES controller. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can obviously see it, and then you can hit that thumbs up button and subscribe, and then click the bell so that people know that it's good content. This is on sale right now. You can get a 2-pack of these for $30 right now, and that's a really good deal. That's half off. So it's basically you're getting you're buying one of these for $15, but you get them. It's a 2-pack. These are fantastic controllers. They work really well. They charge on the side of the Switch, and it looks ridiculous when they have these things attached to the side of the Switch, the NES controller. And for $30, this is a steal. This is an awesome controller for playing old NES games. It feels just like playing NES games back in the day. I'm telling you, this is a wonderful thing, and to be able to pick this up for half off right now, this is without a doubt a great idea. So make sure that you do that. Now, it's limited 1 per Nintendo account, and the sale ends January 10th, 2020. So you have time. That being said, I already bought this once. I wonder if I can do it again. Why would I? I don't know. You can't do more than... I mean, why would you? That is a good question. Why would you bother with that? Because you can't play... There's no 4-player games, and if I have a Nintendo account, then I don't need... I mean, then I have a Switch. You know what I mean? So I think it makes sense to only sell one of these. It was something that popped in my head while I was talking. Anyway, oh my God. Let's see. Darren Pogue says, I wish it didn't have the rail. Yeah, it does have the rail on the side, but honestly, whenever I played these, I didn't really put my fingers on the top very often. I usually had my fingers underneath when I was playing, so the rail doesn't really get in the way for me. That being said, that's the reason that they don't have the rail on the Super Nintendo controllers, is because you want to be able to reach over the shoulder buttons on the Super Nintendo controllers. All right. We are out of time. Become a part of the community over at runjumpstomp.com/Discord. You guys are awesome. There's over almost 900 people there, so make sure that you join up. You can also watch the show live at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp and follow my YouTube channel over at youtube.com/runjumpstomp. I think I'm going to start doing more stuff over there. Anyway, you can get a hold of me in all the ways that you've heard me say before. I'm not going to list them off right now. This show is part of the Giant Size Team Up Network. For more information about that, make sure that you check out gstu.net. Spaghetti Batman, thank you very much for the follow here on Twitch. I appreciate it. And if you are looking for ways to support the show, one of the ways that you can support the show, listen, it's Christmas time, right? We're doing a lot of buying of things, right? And a lot of people tend to use Amazon. And if you're using Amazon, use my link. Go to runjumpstomp.com/thank you. Use my Amazon affiliate link, and anything you buy supports the show. Anyway, the music that you are hearing on the show right now is Corneria Star Fox Remix by Noteblock. It's one of my favorite chiptune songs of all time. I will see you guys around. Thank you for hanging out with me, and take it easy. Bye-bye.